You ever watch someone in power realize the little guy they've been bullying has been quietly building a guillotine the whole time? That's exactly what happened when Karen Whitaker marched into my family's gas station and decided community spirit meant free premium fuel for her Escalade. I said no. She called the cops and tried to destroy me. What she didn't count on was that I'd been taking notes and screenshots for months. The morning started normal enough. Pinehurst Estates in suburban North Carolina looked like the kind of place realtors use in brochures, perfectly edged lawns. Identical beige houses with American flags fluttering like they were paid to. And that heavy, unspoken pressure to keep everything tasteful. I'd moved back after my dad passed to run Ellis Fuel and Convenience, the little station he built in '89. It wasn't flashy, but it was honest. I liked the quiet. Or at least I did until Karen decided the rules only applied to everyone else. I was alone behind the counter at 7:15 a.m. reconciling receipts, when her white Escalade screeched into the lot like she was responding to an emergency. Karen Whitaker, president of the Pinehurst HOA for 9 glorious years, stepped out in her signature pink polo, khakis pressed sharper than a knife, and that permanent expression of someone who'd smelled something unpleasant for the last decade. She didn't say hello. She never did. "Ryan," she announced. Like we were old pals. "Fill it up. Premium. And before you start with the price. As HOA president, I shouldn't have to pay when a resident has fuel available. Your father understood community courtesy perfectly." I set my pen down slowly. The old man's photo on the wall behind me looked slightly crooked. Same as always. Like he was already rolling his eyes. "Mrs. Whitaker. There's no such arrangement. Never has been. If you'd like to buy gas, it's $4.39 a gallon. Pumps right outside." Her smile tightened like a rubber band about to snap. "I don't think you understand how things work around here. I've kept this community running smoothly for 9 years. 9 years. Ryan. People respect that. They cooperate. I kept my voice even. Respect goes both ways. The price is posted." That's when the mask slipped, just a little. Her eyes narrowed. "Do you know what I can do to someone who refuses to cooperate with community leadership? Inspections. Violations. Fines for things you didn't even know existed. I'm giving you a chance to start this relationship on the right foot." She said it so sweetly. Like she was offering me cookies instead of a shakedown. I smiled back. "Appreciate the offer. Still $4.39. 3 seconds of dead silence. Then she pulled out her phone with the dramatic flair of a soap opera actress and dialed 911. "Yes. Hello? I need police assistance at Ellis Fuel on Pinehurst Road. There's a man here being hostile and threatening me. I feel unsafe." She stared straight at me the whole time, daring me to react. The smell of gasoline and entitlement filled the air like cheap perfume. 8 minutes later, Officer Ramirez pulled up. Karen launched into her performance, aggressive refusal of service, hostile demeanor, possible discrimination. I waited until she finished, then calmly said, "Officer, every inch of this place is on camera. Video and audio. I can pull the last 30 minutes right now if you'd like." Ramirez looked tired. The kind of tired that comes from too many HOA calls. He glanced at the obvious cameras above the register and sighed. "Ma'am, you want to file a report?" Karen waved her hand. "That won't be necessary. I just wanted this incident documented for the HOA records." She grabbed her purse, gave me one last death stare, and hissed on her way out. "The board meeting is Thursday. Mr. Ellis." I strongly suggest you attend. We have several matters concerning your property to discuss. The Escalade roared off. Ramirez gave me a small, knowing nod before leaving. I locked the door, went to the back office, and started downloading every second of footage. I created a new folder on my desktop. I called it Karen. The first fine arrived 4 days later in a crisp white envelope that smelled like passive aggression. Conduct detrimental to community harmony, Article 7.3, $500. The attached photos showed my trash can supposedly left out 47 minutes past the allowed time. Never mind that it was the neighbor's can that blew into my yard. I paid it. Not because I agreed, because I was building a file. Then the whispers started. At the grocery store. Conversations died when I walked by. My regular customers began driving past the station without stopping. Business dropped 28% in a week. Someone left a 1-star review on Google, rude owner. Makes women feel unsafe. Avoid. Posted from an account created that same day. I documented it all. Every fine. Every fake review. Every anonymous text that said troublemakers don't last long here. But I wasn't the only one who'd had enough. Old Mr. Harlan, retired accountant who'd lived in Pinehurst for 22 years, showed up at my door one night with a dusty box of papers. Been waiting for someone with balls to push back, he muttered. Inside were years of HOA financials he'd secretly copied. Payments to her husband's consulting company for work that was never done. $134,000 in clubhouse renovations while the same ugly carpet sat there moldering. Phantom vendors. Fake invoices. The kind of sloppy corruption that only survives when no one dares ask questions. I thanked him. Scanned everything. And added it to the folder. The noose was getting tighter. I just needed one more thing. 3 weeks later. Karen made her biggest mistake. She showed up at the station again. This time trying the nice act. Wounded smile. Soft voice. The whole we got off on the wrong foot routine. Ryan. I think we can fix this. Drop the silly audit petition that's going around and I'll make sure all those nasty fines disappear. Maybe even encourage folks to start shopping local again. She leaned in. A small monthly contribution to the HOA Improvement Fund, say $600, would go a long way toward community goodwill. I kept my face blank while my phone in my shirt pocket recorded every word. You're asking me to pay you to stop harassing me? She actually laughed. That's such an ugly way to put it. I'm offering a mutually beneficial arrangement. I let her talk. When she finally left, I sent the audio to my lawyer with one question: extortion? His reply came back fast: oh yeah. The next day I delivered the formal audit petition, signed by 24 homeowners, to her front door. She opened it in her silk robe, coffee in hand. And her face went through the most beautiful sequence I've ever seen: smug, confused, furious panic. She slammed the door so hard the HOA welcome sign rattled. Thursday night. The community clubhouse was packed. 83 people showed up, way more than usual. The air felt electric. Like everyone knew something was about to break. Karen sat at the head table in full queen mode, flanked by her 2 loyal minions. She opened the meeting with her usual speech about supporting each other and maintaining harmony. Then she called me up. I didn't argue. I just walked to the front, plugged in my laptop, and started the presentation. First slide: 9 years of payments to her husband's company for work that photos proved was never done. Second slide: the fake vendor companies that didn't exist. Third slide: the security footage from the gas station. The room went dead silent as everyone watched Karen demand free gas. Get refused. Then dramatically call 911 while claiming I threatened her life. When the video ended, someone in the back actually laughed out loud. Karen's face was priceless, first bright red with rage, then ghost white as the realization hit that her little kingdom was over. She stood up, pointing at me with a shaking finger. "This is a personal vendetta. He's lying. He's trying to destroy everything we've built." I didn't raise my voice. I just said, "The footage doesn't lie, Karen. Neither do the bank records." The room erupted. People started shouting questions. Where did the money go? Why are we paying for services we never got? How many other families did you run out of here? Her two board members suddenly found the table very interesting and wouldn't look at her. One older woman stood up and said loudly, "I'm done being afraid of my own neighborhood." Karen tried to regain control, but her voice cracked. The mask was gone. All that was left was a petty tyrant who'd finally been caught with her hand in the cookie jar, and the jar had teeth. She resigned 4 days later in a 3-sentence email that basically said personal reasons while everyone knew the truth. The two minions followed her out the door. An emergency election was called. Mr. Harlan agreed to help the new board clean house. The state attorney general's office opened an investigation within a week. Last I heard, they're looking at possible embezzlement charges. Karen and her husband put their house on the market quietly. No more pink polo power walks through the neighborhood. No more fake smiles at the mailbox. My business came roaring back. Old customers returned. New ones showed up just to say they supported the guy who finally stood up. I even hired a second employee. And the best part? Last week I got an email from a woman in another HOA 2 towns over. Same story, president demanding free services. Weaponizing fines. Scaring people into silence. She asked if I had any advice. I sent her the template for the audit petition, the public records request, and one simple line. Start documenting. They always slip up eventually. So here's the question I want you to answer honestly in the comments. Was I wrong for refusing to give away my own property to a woman who thought her HOA title made her royalty? Or was Karen the real villain, the one who spent years abusing power, stealing from her neighbors, and destroying lives while hiding behind community harmony? Who was actually in the wrong here? Be honest. I read every comment.